Alrighty, it is finally happening. I have been wanting to come out with this podcast for way too long, and we're finally here. And I'm so excited because this is going to be such a cool space for us to hang out and chat and talk about how to create a meaningful life and art and business and just doing things that genuinely make your soul on fire and make you happy. And I've been doing this work now for a few years, and I just want to be sharing everything that I've been learning with you guys because I just don't know what to do with all this information that I'm picking up on, and I need to share it with someone, and I love talking, and I can't wait to see how this podcast is going to evolve. So I'm so excited, and I can't wait to keep sharing all this with you guys. So as you know, the title of this podcast is called Create Eudaimonia. And Eudaimonia is the ancient Greek philosophy for human flourishing. And it's something that I'm super passionate about talking about because it's such a charged word. It doesn't just mean creating happiness, but it's creating a sustained feeling of joy in your heart and soul at all times. And there's certain things that you have to do in life in order to achieve happiness. Happiness is not a coincidence, it's not an accident, it's not something that just you don't just wake up and you're happy. It's something you consciously have to work at every single day of your life in order to be happy. It takes vision, it takes consistency, it takes determination, it takes so much to be happy. And I feel like people think that they are just you just are deserving of happiness for just existing, and that's not the case. You really have to work at it. It's something that does not come easy, and it's something that you really have to want. And I want it. I genuinely, from the deep parts of my soul, want to feel pure freedom, pure happiness, pure bliss. And I'm gonna say right now, I am not perfect. I feel all my emotions. I'm not happy all the time. I am literally an emotional wreck sometimes. But I'm also really working at trying to be happy and just loving life and just creating a life that I genuinely love and spending time with people and doing things that make me so genuinely happy. So to get to the point, we're going to talk all about the different ways to create eudaimonia in your life. And I want to give you guys golden nuggets of knowledge and information and tangible things that you can take away from each podcast episode and really get good inspiration to start living a life of eudaimonia every single day in your life. And so we're going to be doing that. But before we get into all the meanings and the philosophies and how to implement these philosophies in our modern day life, I kind of want to give you guys a background on how I got started, who I am, and how I got here. So my name is Christina Angelos. I'm a professional abstract artist. I paint the waters of Greece in an abstract way. And I love creating art because art was healing for me at a time in my life when I needed it. I had gone through a kind of a rocky childhood, and I just needed an outlet. I needed something to meditate on, to give my mind something to do, to rest. Art was my therapy. It was my outlet. It was a way for me to process my emotions. And even through my teenage years, I was a crazy, rebellious, crazy teenager, and I was just running around and doing crazy things, and I got myself into a lot of trouble as a teenager, and art was the thing that saved me. I really believe that without my art practice, I wouldn't be here today speaking to you right now, because art is transformative. And when I had concussions, brain injuries, traumas, all this stuff happened to me, and what got me through those times was having art to lean back on and having this art practice to really guide me and hold me and take me through those challenges. And also God, art for me is a meditative, prayerful practice. And by reconnecting with my art, I was actually reconnecting with my own soul and reconnecting with God. And I think that's what really brought me to where I am today. And it's so magical and it's so powerful. And to anyone listening to this podcast right now, if you're going through a hard time and you're not sure how to process things, or you just need a mental exercise, I want to encourage you to start drawing and start doing like little lines on a piece of paper. That's literally my motto. You don't need to be an artist to draw. You don't need to like make yourself a full-time artist to participate in making art. Art is literally for everyone, just like every single person on this earth is encouraged to work out and move their body. I encourage everyone on this earth to draw, because drawing is healing, it is meditative, it is a way for you to exercise your mind. It's not just like for people who have gone through things, but even like modern, like even if you are happy and you love your life and things are going great, art is still amazing, is an amazing tool for you to grow creatively, to think more abstractly, to like stimulate your mind. So much stuff. Okay, we're gonna talk about this. I like to go on side tangents, so I'm gonna try to stay focused here. Okay, back to my story. Oh my god, this podcast is gonna be so fun. I can already tell. But back to my story. I went through a little rough patch, high school, college, and then eventually I found my way because I didn't know what to do after I didn't know what to do after high school. And so I went to community college for 2 years. I just like took some ceramics classes for fun, loved it, and then I ended up transferring to North Park University and studying professional under a really professional artist who I love to this day. His name is Tim Lowley, and he was my art professor, and he really got this out of me. He was my mentor. He helped me and guided me to create meaningful work and really pushed me to a place that I'm now like so happy with what the meaning is behind my work, and I'm so glad I had that mentor in my life to push me there. But yeah, I was trained professionally in painting at North Park University, and then I also double majored in education. And my whole entire life thought I was going to be a teacher my whole life. And I was like, okay, well, I'm in college, I'm gonna be a teacher. And so that's what I did. I got a degree in education, so I was certified K-12. And I taught high school for 2 years, and I loved it. But for me, like, I have a very rebellious spirit, and I have a very, like, I'm too big for this, like, school environment. I didn't even like high school when I was in high school, and so the fact that I just ended up on the other side of the classroom and I was teaching in this school environment, in a high school, like, the structured, like, I hated it. I was like, oh, it wasn't the kids. I love the kids. I love the students. And it's just like the institution itself was just like too claustrophobic for me, because I just felt like I was bigger than us high school. And not to say, like, I love all the high school teachers and I give them so much credit for the work that they do, because they are literally angels. But for me, I just knew that I wanted to do something else. From the bottom of my heart, I always knew that I was meant to not be in a school. I didn't even want to be in the school, but I was, and I just did it to do it, because everyone tells you to go get a secure, safe job, and the secure, safe job was teaching. And so I just was like, okay, and I just kind of followed along and just kind of like went through that path. And I'm grateful that I did it, because it gave me so much experience and so much confidence and knowledge. And now I'm creating curriculum, and I know how to create really good curriculum, and I love making lessons and I love teaching. I just didn't want to do it in a public school setting, because other reasons too. We can go off another time more about that. But yeah, like, I taught high school and I learned how to teach art in an effective way and how to simplify art, because the public education system does a really great job of sort of teaching history and science and everything else, but like, art is not the foundation, when art actually existed before history, before science, before social studies. There was art first. The caves in like prehistoric era were full of drawings. People from ancient times were using depictions, using symbols, and drawing things to communicate with other people. And I think that's really powerful, and it's something our society doesn't acknowledge enough, and people don't really see the value that art has on society. And so I really wanted to make it my mission for students to know the importance of drawing and the importance of art and communicating through a visual language, and how to simply create art, because I feel like the art world and like just art in general, it's like people look at a still life of a realistic like vase and an orange and they're like, oh my god, like that's so realistic, I could never do that. And like I used to look at art and be like, what the hell, like that looks so hard, like I don't know how they were able to make that drawing look so photorealistic, like whoa, like my mind was just always like so mind blown that like artists can make art that realistic. And I was like, and then once I got into college and I learned about the basic fundamentals of what makes art, it's like literally just different values. Values is like dark, medium, light, shadows, midtones, highlights. It's literally that simple. It's not that hard to make realistic art. It's literally just knowing the fundamentals, and basically the art alphabet is what I'm kind of creating and showing people how simple lines, simple shapes, simple values, you can create art and you can create a visual language. So basically, yeah, like art should be accessible to everyone, and I am making it my mission to help educate everyone on the internet, everyone who's listening, everyone who's watching me on social media, to learn the basic fundamentals of art and the power that art has, because it is so powerful and you need to know how to make art. If you don't know how to make art, in my eyes, you are illiterate. People, this whole society, some people don't know how to read. If you don't know what art is and you don't know how to read art and make art, you are illiterate. Art makes you creative. Art makes you think outside the box. Art makes your mind at a whole different level, a whole different capacity. It expands your brain so much in every other avenue of your life. Even no matter what you are doing in life, art is seriously game changer for you. Okay, we went off on a side tangent again, but it's okay because I am so fired up and so passionate about talking about art, as you can see. So we'll keep chatting about this stuff as we continue. But okay, so back to me. I went to college, went to be a teacher. I was a high school teacher. During my time teaching, I was also building up my art business. I was doing custom commission pieces. I was getting asked by people to create works of art for their homes. And so I would come home from teaching from like 7 to 3 or whatever, and I would come home and I would paint for hours. And I would work on my website, I would work on my email list, I would work on my social media, I would work on reels, I would do like a lot. I was juggling both at the same time, and I genuinely loved it. I loved teaching and I loved running my business, and I kind of felt like I was at a point where I was doing both things kind of half of what I could be doing, and I wasn't living up to my fullest potential as an artist and as a teacher, because I feel like I was kind of neglecting my students because I was focusing so harshly on creating this art business, and I genuinely love making art, and so I was kind of like playing on two fields at the same time, and I kind of felt a little scattered and just like all over the place. And then basically one day on my way to work, every morning I would listen to podcasts. I would listen to like the Ed Milet Show, Skinny Confidential, you know, like all the good podcasts out there. And one episode really struck me. It was an episode with Amy Porterfield and Ed Milet. And Amy Porterfield was basically saying how she escaped the matrix, quit her corporate job, and was able to make a career as a full-time course creator, and she created online courses. So I thought to myself, I was like, wait a second, I'm really good at teaching, I love curriculum, I love making lessons, I love teaching about art, I love making art, I love creating art and sharing art. I was like, why am I in the public school system if I can be creating an online course and selling it and teaching so many more people, even adults and people outside of the high school classroom, how to make art? And so that's when the wheels really started turning. I think it was literally last like October, which is like crazy because it's like exactly a year from now was the day I listened to that podcast. And ever since I listened to that podcast, I started scheming and literally I put that idea in my head that I was going to quit my teaching job and pursue a full-time career in online course creation and artwork and selling my artwork. And I was like, I'm doing this, I'm going all in, and I'm gonna create this business that I genuinely love and create a life for myself, and honestly creating a life for myself that I genuinely love. Because for me, like growing up in a very like lower middle class family, I saw the detriments that debt can do to a family. I saw how damaging money can be to a family's dynamic, and how toxic money can be when it's not used correctly. And so it kind of fueled the fire under my butt to have the desire to want to make a lot of money and to want to sustain a life that was supporting me and my family, and was, and create a business that actually fueled my life and that gave me financial freedom. Because I really believe that when you are financially free, you're able to flourish and you're able to create so much more, and you're not held back by the limiting beliefs of money and debt and all these other things that drag you down with, what money can do to you. And so I kind of made it my personal mission, and mind you guys, like I'm not like saying I'm making so much money right now in my art business. I know, like it's not easy to make money online. It's not easy to start a business. It's not easy to start an online course. This stuff is not easy. It takes work. But this is the work that I genuinely love. And if I would do this kind of work for free. And this is exactly what a strong business should be set upon, is like creating a business and a life around something you would genuinely want to do for free. And I would literally teach this course for free. I would create art for free, and I would do all this stuff for free. But I am deciding to create this life and create a business around exactly what I'm loving to do in order to create financial freedom for myself and for my family in the future, and create a life that I genuinely love to live. Like, isn't that all of our goal here? And so I want to say to you, listener out there, if you're listening to this, I want you to think of like, what in the world would you want to do for free? What would you do if you had $1 million, like what would you want to do every single day? What type of work? And you need to you can't just be like, oh, like I want to sit in my bed and watch TikTok videos all day like my little sister. No, we're not, like that doesn't count. Like doing nothing doesn't count. I want you to think of you are to work, because work is good. Work gives you purpose. Work gives you meaning. I don't know why society makes people think that working is like the enemy, and like burnout and over like working yourself and all this stuff. It's like work is actually good. It's good for your soul. It fuels your passion. It fuels your life. Work is healthy. It's fun to work. You should love what you're working on. You should love working. So my question for you is really think about if you were to work for free, if you were to do any job on this earth, what would it be? Would you want to be a surfer? Would you want to go surfing every single day? Maybe your job or your career should be developing the flipper of a surfboard and designing new technology for surfboards so you can go in the water and test out that surfboard every single day, right? So it's you need to think about what you would do for free and just start doing it. You don't have to quit your job. You don't have to start all over. You don't have to do a drastic life change. But if you know what you love, let's say you like plants, after work every day, you can plant one plant and you never know, it literally snowballs. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to me with my art business. I would literally be so not upset, but I was working as a waitress. I was working at the freaking foot store, a foot store, the Roadrunner shoe store. I was working all these different jobs. I was hustling my butt off to make $1, and I was miserable. I was exhausted. But I was you know what? I know this is temporary and I don't see this for myself forever, but I'm just gonna work hard right now. And I would go home and I would paint. And I would paint and paint and paint and paint. And in college I would paint. In high school I would paint. In high school I would always be making art. And then, when I was even teaching, I would come home and paint. It's it doesn't happen overnight. You can't just snap your fingers and your life has changed. You know what I mean? It takes time, it takes work. But I think that there's beauty in the journey, and I think there's beauty in developing your craft and honing in on your skill and really like enjoying the journey and enjoying the process and knowing that things take time and things, you know, like good things take time. And like by you doing those small little actionable things every single day, it's like you're setting a foundation for yourself for your future. You're building that root system, you know, like a healthy tree. It doesn't just like happen. It doesn't just bloom fruits overnight or in one day. It literally takes years and years to develop like a really deep rooted system and to really like grow and expand and like be something amazing. You know, it takes time. So by you just like doing these small daily actions and thinking about this stuff and really just doing like small little steps every single day, that's what's really going to set you up for success in the future and to set you up in this like deep rooted foundation for you to thrive and bear fruits later on in life. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm really like just focusing on like digging in deep and developing these strong roots, making my art super, you know, meaningful and making it very impactful, creating things that are going to help me in the future, because I know that like I'm going somewhere. Like I'm not just, I know this is just a part of my journey. I'm just building the foundations. Even with this podcast, I want to start, you know, filming YouTube videos more and doing more and more and more and more. And I don't even know where it's going to go yet, but I have a vision for what my life is going to be like. So that kind of brings us into our first point of like how to create eudaimonia and how to create a life that you love. The first step is really to have vision, okay? Where there is no vision, the people will perish. That's a quote from the Bible. God said it. Like if you don't have vision, you're not going anywhere. If you are living your life right now and you genuinely believe that it can never change, it's never gonna change. Like I hate to break it to you, but that's the truth. Like if you don't have a dream, if you don't think about the possibilities of what could possibly happen to you in your future, if this dream is not like, if you can't see the vision, you can't see the dream, you can't see what you actually want for yourself in the future, you will perish. Your life is meaningless. Your life doesn't have purpose. There's going to be no reason to live. It's going to be depressing. You're going to be sad deep down. Like you're never going to create eudaimonia. You're always going to be in a place of depression and sadness. And some people are comfortable there and they are going to stay there their entire life. And no matter what I tell you or what I tell them, they are comfortable and they are okay and content with just being miserable. And that's like the sad, harsh reality of things is like genuinely, it's like I can preach all day, but some people are just never going to change. And I hope that's not you. I hope that you have vision. I hope that you are listening to this because you want to change your life, because you see that vision for yourself. And I want to encourage you to first think of what your vision is. For me, my vision, I vision myself in my 40s and 50s being retired, being able to have a vacation home in another state or another country, hopefully in Greece one day, having a vacation home, but also like having my roots here in Chicago and just like being with my family, being surrounded by family and not having to depend on money and just being financially free is what my main vision is. It's what my goal is. I want to have my artwork in many people's home across the country and across the world. I believe that my artwork is a blessing in people's homes. It really gives an energy and a charge. It brings the soul of the sea, the soul of God, the soul of nature into people's houses, the divine, the mystical. The artwork is powerful, and I really just want every house, like as many houses as possible, to have my art in it because I genuinely believe that it is transformative, that it helps people. And you know, it's like that's what my vision is for my future. Oh my god, I'm getting like choked up over here. It's like so powerful, you know? I gotta take a sip of coffee, one sec. But yeah, it's like where there is no vision, you're not going anywhere. Like, I know I'm going somewhere. I know it's going to take time, and I know that I'm putting in the work to get there. And I know that, like, my life is going to be an ever-evolving journey, and I'm okay with that. And I'm so happy and ready to keep moving forward and to keep doing what I'm doing because I genuinely love it so much. So vision is the first step. So your first task, and I want you to write about this in your journal tonight, is write about your dreams. What do you envision for yourself? What do you want for your life? Like, what do you envision? What is your goal? What is your like ultimate dream? If you had $1 million, what would you do for work every single day? Okay, like I think even if I was like 60 years old and retired, financially free, all this stuff, yada, 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 I would genuinely still want to be right in front of this camera right now, talking into this camera and educating people and speaking about this topic because I love it. Okay, vision. What is your vision? Think about it. Okay, think about it. Let me know. You can comment. You can message me. You can email me. And let me know what your vision is. I love hearing from you guys. So please, please, please tell me what your vision is. All right. So yeah, like chasing, the next point I want to say is like, you always want to be striving for continual growth and always be striving for chasing your curiosities forever. That's what really creates eudaimonia. What creates a life of sustained happiness is continually growing, evolving, chasing your desires, chasing your curiosities, following your curiosities, and allowing them to evolve and change over time. Like, even though my thing is art, like I chase my curiosities with cooking. I love cooking. I love being in nature. I love gardening. I love like so many other avenues besides art. I love fashion. I love thrift shopping. I love home design. I love home decor. I love going to vintage stores and like finding different pieces and then arranging them in my home. That's what brings me joy. It's not just about painting. It's not just about that one thing, but it's like about creating multiple kind of like fun, creative avenues for yourself to play. Life should be playful. Life should be exciting and fun. And I want to also say that like in the Bible, or God preaches like literally like to go to heaven, you need to become like a child. And I'm so in love with that quote, and I heard it when I was a kid, and I was like, okay, like I'm already a kid, like I got this. But it's like as you grow older and as you start to become a more like sophisticated like adult, you really start to like disconnect from your inner child, and you start to act like all serious and all like depressing and like miserable and like money and like sad and like bleh. You know what I mean? Like it's just like you become an adult, and adults are not nice all the time. Like adults like don't really get life. They're not having fun. They're boring. And it's like life should not be like that. Life should be fun. Life should be exciting. Life should be playful. Like a child goes out to the playground and plays with their toys. It's like so genuinely like fun for them. They go play in the mud. They go chase their curiosities. They pick up the worms. They do weird things. They like jump off the couches and they explore. They have fun. They climb trees. Like that's the kind of vibe that I always want to embody. And even now that I am an adult, like an adult woman, I still try to reconnect with my inner child and always like remember to have fun and to be relaxed and to be like blissfully like ignorant sometimes like a child and just enjoy the simple pleasures of this life and just be relaxed and have fun. And you know, when you are in a state of like relaxation and playfulness and curiosity and fun, that's when you're able to really tap into what is really important to your soul and what your inner purpose is and what work you genuinely want to do. And that will also like reflect in the life that you start to live, the business you start to create, the money that you make. It really has to do with your inner world and like creating a playful, powerful, childlike inner world and reflecting that in your business, reflecting it in whatever it is you're doing in your life. And I think that's really powerful and something to really think about. So Okay, next thing for creating eudaimonia is creating really stable and meaningful and authentic social interactions in your life is literally, like, I think super high on the list of how to actually sustain. Sustainability is something that you can you can kind of hold on to for a long period of time. It's like sustainable. It means it's like never going to end. It's going to stay consistent. It's going to be like super stable. Like, that's what sustainable happiness means, is like creating a life that you love over a long period of time. And humans need other humans to survive. Humans need other human interaction, need human social interactions, need friends, need family, need people around them, need physical touch, physical hugs, physical like togetherness to feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves. And humans, you need to have meaningful relationships in your life in order to sustain this happiness. And so my biggest advice is to start to become the person that you want to hang out with. Become your ideal best friend. Become a really positive, childlike, happy person. Embody what it is, all the characteristics that you love about a friend or someone that you think is really amazing, someone that you might hold on a pedestal. You should embody those characteristics for yourself. And what happens is that your energy and your mindset and your bright light and your charisma starts to reflect onto other people in your life, in your family, in your close circles, in your relationships, and all of other parts of your life. It's like you radiate the type of energy that you are going to receive back from you. Okay. And also I want to touch on this topic of relationships and family, because not every family is perfect. Okay. My family is definitely not perfect at all. If you guys are listening to this, I love you, but we are not perfect. Like, we are a hot mess. There's a lot of people in my family who are like in deep financial debt, and they show it on their sleeve, and they are miserable people. I still love them though, and I still care for them, and I still genuinely want to hang out with them because they are a part of my family and I love them. And it's like, even though like they have their own sort of negative views on the world, it's like, by you just being a beacon of hope and a beacon of light, like, you really inspire them and you help them become happier. And I've noticed it within my own family. It's like everyone, we just love to get along. Like, we all get along and we all hang out and we all have a good time and we can all just like eat together and have a great time. And it's like, we enjoy each other's company and we have fun together, even though like we are all not perfect. And it's like, we have our differences. Everyone has like their own struggles that they're going through, but we talk about our struggles. We don't just like mask them. We actually like have conversations about it. And I kind of sometimes will force the conversations if I'm close with them, and I'll be like, yo, like, what's up? Like, what's wrong? Let's talk about it. Let's dive deeper and have like meaningful conversations. And it's not easy, especially in like a Greek family, when it's like everyone just wants to like sugarcoat things and put like a rose-colored glasses on and just like pretend like their problems aren't there, and just like pretend like everything's great and dandy and we're all happy, and just like put a fake smile on your face like a mask. Like, no, like, I don't agree with that either. I feel like you have to, acknowledge what you're going through. We're humans. We need each other. We need to talk to each other. We need to talk about these things. We need to like get it out of our systems. And I think by being with your close family and feeling open to talk about like what you're genuinely going through is so powerful. It's like you get to really like get to know them on a deeper level. You get to literally like help them like process what they're going through, help them like process their emotions, and just like, honestly, it's like us as humans, we just really need like someone to listen to us, someone to hear us, someone to be there for us. And it's like, it's like in the old days, there were no therapists, there were no psychologists to go to and like vent all of your feelings to. It was like your family. It's like your immediate circle is who you were comfortable with to talk about hard topics, to process these emotions, to talk about what's bothering you and what's upsetting you, or like what you're happy about and like what you're excited about. Like you do that with your family and like with your siblings, with your parents, with your aunts. It's like fun to talk to them about that stuff. If you don't talk to your family, it's like, what are you doing? You just like sit around and like talk about the weather. Like that's so superficial. It's like boring. It's like, so I want to encourage you listeners here, if you're listening to my rants, I love you. But like, I want you to really like think and be intentional with the people in your life and have meaningful conversations with them. Be there for them, and they will also be there for you. And just be open to talking more and just like being more vulnerable with your family and just like being more open and like having open relationships, not open relationships like that, but like having more like vulnerable, emotional relationships with like the people that you're close with. And for friendships too, it's like you attract the people who you are like. And so when you become your best self and when you are at a higher state, an elevated state, and becoming like your best version of yourself, you start to attract other people who are mirrors to you, who are also in that same state, who are also in the same path of life as you and get you. Like I have been meeting so many amazing women lately, and I'm just like, thank you, God. Like I literally have been praying to meet new genuine friends, and I have been. And it's just like so powerful that it's like when you get to this place in life that you really love yourself truly and you really love what you're doing and you are so authentic with your work and what you're loving your work and you're loving what you're doing. It's like you meet people who also love what they're doing, and then it's like you just click automatically, and that's like a magical, beautiful thing. And so I'm so grateful that life is kind of taking me in that path, and I want that to happen to you too. So that's what I'll say about meaningful relationships. And then, okay, so then we're going to talk about how to like discipline in sophrosini. So this is the last little tip, and then we'll kind of wrap it up. So the last tip I have for you guys is to create a life of eudaimonia. You really need to be disciplined, okay? Don't come for me for this one, because a lot of people don't like this word discipline because it makes them uncomfortable. And people like being comfortable. We like cozy. We like what we like. We like knowing the familiar. But I will say that growth doesn't come from being comfortable. Growth comes from being uncomfortable, like expanding yourself and pushing yourself to become a better version of yourself. So you cannot change, you cannot create a life that you truly, passionately, deeply love if you are staying the same person every single day and you are not doing anything to change it, okay? Eudaimonia takes work, it takes discipline, it takes passion, it takes drive. And discipline, sophrosini, is the ancient Greek philosophy for this sort of, it's not just discipline, but it's like mental discernment and having like the self-control and resilience to move on in your life and to prosper. But like you really need to have, it's like a mental discipline. It starts with your mind, but it also has to do with your body, like disciplining your body and disciplining your soul. So starting with the discipline of the mind, it's like your mind controls every single thing you do in your life. Our thoughts determine our lives, right? Like each thought that you think plays out in your life. If you think to yourself, I am a loser who sleeps in bed all day and watches TikToks, I'm just going to say that example again, then you are going to continue to be a loser that sits in bed and watches TikToks all day, okay? I'm not going to sugarcoat things here, you guys. But if you tell yourself, I am a passionate, successful person who every single day takes action to achieve my dreams and to create a life that I genuinely love. And every single day I do small little steps that will accumulate to creating a life that I love. And no matter what, I wake up every morning and I read the Bible and I journal and I read and I exercise my body and I eat healthy foods every single day. You become those things. You become your routines. You become your schedule. You become what you do in your work. You radiate whatever it is that you are doing. And whatever you do, you can't do it unless you think it first, right? Like you have to your mind logically has to be okay, we are doing this, and then you have to do it. So when you're starting a new routine and you're trying to learn how to discipline yourself, it really is mental, because it's you have to kind of force yourself to do that thing. Even though your body doesn't want to do it, your mind has to be the strong thing that disciplines yourself, your mind, body, and your soul, and takes your body to the yoga mat or to the Pilates mat and get your butt on the ground and actually starts doing those planks, right? You have to kind of force yourself. You kind of have to make it a routine, discipline yourself to do that thing. But the beauty about discipline, and I think that the reason why discipline gets a bad rap is because people are oh, I don't want to do hard things. But it's but wait a second, when I do work out, I feel better. My body feels stronger. I feel wiser because my mind is working better. My body is functioning better. I have more energy. There's so many benefits to working out, to moving my body. And it's why is that a bad thing? It's actually a really, really, really positive thing. And I think that discipline in your life is an extremely positive thing. It's so good. It's so how I don't understand people that are not disciplined. I feel pity for them. I genuinely have pity for them, because when you don't have discipline, your life is literally you're like a mashed potato. You literally what are you doing? It's I don't get it. I can't relate to that. I can't relate to not having discipline, because not having discipline leads to a life of depression. It leads to a life of sadness. It leads to a life of not getting what you want. Who wants that? Who wants to be depressed and sad and not get what they want? I don't. I know what it takes to be happy. I know that it takes discipline to be happy. I know that it takes discipline to create what I want to create. I know it takes discipline to stay consistent. And it's I love the discipline because it makes me happier. It makes me a genuinely happier person. And so if you are listening to this and you were how can I discipline myself today? It's you can literally just start by waking up in the morning and doing one small thing every single morning before you go to work, before you start getting ready, before you start moving and going about your day like a robot. The first thing that you should be doing in the morning is thanking God and having and writing down exactly what you are grateful for. That is a discipline that I encourage anyone with any experience level can start doing literally today, is to start disciplining yourself every single morning to write down what you're grateful for. And that's probably going to lead me into the next topic of gratitude, but it's when you practice consistently a small habit and you're no matter what I'm feeling, no matter if I'm tired or if I sleep in or if I am running late or if I need to do this or do this or do this or do this, no matter what, this is what discipline is. No matter what, there is no ifs, ands, or buts. There is no, oh, I don't feel like it. It's happening, okay? This is what discipline is. It's pushing yourself to do that thing, even if you don't want to do it. And just making it a non-negotiable and being I'm doing this thing, period. You're not negotiating it with yourself. You're just doing it, okay? So the first thing I want you to try is to just have the journal by your nightstand, if that's gonna help you. That's what I did for over a year. I literally had the journal right by my nightstand, and I wrote down 3 things every single morning. No negotiations, no days off, even on Saturdays and Sundays. Every single day I wrote in that journal, and that was the first ever promise I made to myself to be consistent and to do something and stick with it and keep that discipline. And through writing what I'm grateful for every single day with no days off and no breaks, that routine and that discipline of writing what I'm grateful for was actually like subconsciously reprogramming my thoughts and my brain. And when you practice gratitude and when you're reminding yourself of every single thing that you are grateful for, you are literally reprogramming your mind to be happier. It's a literal science. There's scientific studies about this, about how gratitude is correlated with happiness. Go look it up on Google. Don't even take my word for it, okay? I've done the research myself. You go do the research now too. Look, fact check me, okay? Happiness is correlated with gratitude. If you are practicing gratitude, what it does, it sparks that side of your brain to continually look for other things to be grateful for. So when you're walking down the street and you see a flower, you can look at that flower with a little bit more of like a grateful eyeball, and you're like, wow, like that little small thing, that little small flower is so beautiful, and I'm grateful that I'm here on this earth breathing and living and healthy and walking on this walk and experiencing this flower on this walk. And like you just feel this overwhelming feeling of just being grateful for being alive and being grateful for the simplest little things, being just grateful for your human existence. And I think that's really powerful. And it's like, and also just like being grateful for what you have. Like if you have clothes in your closet, you are wealthier than most of this world. If you have a roof over your head, if you are safe, if you are not in a place of war, if you are literally in a safe house right now with like a roof and a clothing, a blanket, a bed, like you are so blessed by God. And I think that's something to remind yourself of every single day, especially in this social media crazy world, okay? I hear from so many people that are so blessed and so like have everything, and it's like they look on social media and they're like, oh, well, this person's house or this person's like life or this person's traveling. And social media gives us like such a toxic like comparison game, and it's like we have to remind ourselves to like stay in our lane. It's like stay in your own life. Like you need to be happy with your own life, and if you genuinely want something, if you really want something to travel, let's say, then you need to do things every single day to create what you actually really want. And sometimes I feel like on social media it's like deep down it's like, do you really want that thing, or are you just trying to fill a void inside of yourself? You know, like I think about that a lot sometimes, because I'm like, ooh, like I love being in Greece, and like I love the ocean, and I love nature, and I love like the culture of Greece, and like I think to myself sometimes, I'm like, I would love to live there. And it's like, why? Do I really need to live there? Like I think I'm happy here. I feel like I'm just, maybe it's like an escape. Like I want to like, I'm like unhappy with something here and I want to leave, but it's like not, you know, it's like not true. It's like I love Greece and I love visiting Greece and I love experiencing the nature there, but it's like I don't need to be living there full time, you know? And it's like I don't need to, you know, think that I need to be traveling all the time. Traveling's exhausting. I don't want to be packing up my bags and like running around all over the world, like to a million different places. It's like, you know, it's like too much. It's like traveling, packing, repacking, going here, going there. It's like exhausting. Like I just want to get like one little house on the beach and like go for like a couple weeks and then like come back home, you know, like that's what I genuinely want. Like I don't want that just because I'm seeing it on social media doesn't mean like my soul genuinely wants it. It's like you just want to, I don't know, like social media is such a mind game, so don't play into it and really just be grateful for what you have in this very moment. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is to just be grateful for what you have and don't compare your life to others. And if you genuinely want something for yourself, you can create it, you can make it happen, you can do that thing. All right, so I think that's about it for this episode. I'm going to start wrapping it up here. I want to say thanks for listening to all of this Eudaimonia talk. I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're interested in learning more about how to create a life that you love. And future episodes going forward, I plan to like interview people sometimes. I want to interview people who are creating Eudaimonia in their life, if they're artists, if they're other entrepreneurs, or even just like honestly people who are working a regular, quote unquote, regular people job, but they're doing something fun that they love outside of their job. Just because you work a regular job doesn't mean you can't create Eudaimonia in your life. And I also want to like say that again. It's like you, as long as you're doing things that you genuinely love and you're creating a life that you love, you are living Eudaimonia. So I want to be interviewing fun people that totally vibe with what we're doing and what we're talking about here. So that's kind of what I want to do in the future. And then each episode we're going to talk about different topics like this. So maybe like dive deeper into different topics like art and business and social media and marketing, but also just like, you know, keeping our roots to like doing things and like consistent daily tips and actionable things you can do to create a life that you genuinely love. So before we head out, I want to just also tell you guys that I am going to be hosting a Zoom paint club on Thursday mornings. So if you want to learn how to paint, make sure you sign up because it's going to be super fun. It's going to be super meditative, therapeutic, relaxing, calming, stimulating, help you think outside the box, help you be more creative. So if you are wanting to start picking up art and you are curious or just like want to, you know, do something for fun and fuel your own curiosities, come join us on Thursday mornings. We're going to be doing that Zoom club. And then also like art, look around your house, see where you have blank spaces in your house, and go check out the website and see which piece resonates with you the most. They all have different meanings, so make sure that you read through and read which one really resonates with you visually, and then also see which one connects with you in the written sense too, because not the art is not just about the visuals, it's also about the philosophies and the different meanings behind the work. So I want you to resonate with both. And if you're ever having a hard time deciding on like black and white or blue, make sure that you just shoot me an email and be like, this is my wall, or FaceTime me or whatever. We can talk on the phone. I love doing consultations. So if you have any questions, totally just email me at info@ChristinaAngeloStudios.com. Shoot me an email and let's get a Zoom call on the schedule and we can do a personalized video consultation for your home, and I can tell you what size would look good, what colors would look good, and what you're thinking. You can talk to me about what sort of meaning you want in your work, and I can help guide you a little bit further. So I'm here for you in your journey of collecting fine art. I want the work to feel like it belongs in your home and it belongs in your heart. So definitely reach out if you've been eyeing something and you just don't know where to go. Just reach out, because I love talking to you guys and helping you make those decisions. So what else? I don't know. I think that's about it. If you guys like this episode, make sure that you leave a review on Spotify. It would totally boost my day and help more people find the podcast. And yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. Listening. I am going to be posting this on YouTube as well, the video version. So if you like watching my fun hand movements and facial inflections. You can go watch this on YouTube and share it and tell your friends about it. And I will see you on Thursday at the next paint club. All right, love you guys. Have a good week and go create some eudaimonia in your life. Be like ya.